Hi, Pastor Nathan Decker with your Better Together devotion for today. And this week I've been talking about the advice that I often give couples in premarital counseling. I do so as a way of helping them create patterns and habits that move them forward in their marriage beyond the wedding day, to have healthy relationships and have healthy marriages. And I don't know if you've caught on, if you've listened to the previous 2 days, but I'm very big about this phrase, intentional. So water is going to flow. And when water flows, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but it always seems to find ruts and channels, or it makes its own ruts and channels. And that's the way a lot of people enter into a relationship. They have some channels, they have some habits, some things that they saw in previous places. I've even had couples that have lived together for 6 years, but suddenly after they get married, those ways that their household of childhood was suddenly become important to them, and they expect the spouse to immediately align to this way of being. That's not a good habit. It's not a good start for a healthy relationship. You can live with ruts and channels. In fact, if you let the ruts and channels and the water flow through them long enough, they'll get so deep it becomes so hard to undo them. Or, my favorite way of approaching relationships is you can start digging intentional trenches. You can start digging intentional trenches. That is, you can start by having an intentional plan. Talk about household chores. Talk about who's going to do what with children. Talk about how many children. Talk about finances. Talk about sex. Talk about every aspect of your relationship. Talk about who's supposed to initiate date nights. Talk about who and what you like in terms of public affection and PDA. Talk about your communication patterns. Talk about what it means to be a man, a husband, a wife, a spouse, a woman. Talk about who you are. There are a lot of things that we do by accident. I think falling in love for most of us seems to be one of them. We simply seem to accidentally find a person and we accidentally fall in love. But choosing to say I do with that person and choosing to create a brand new lifelong relationship, that's the plan, right? A marriage with that person means choosing to be intentional. Intentional about our words, intentional about forgiveness, intentional about our life, intentional about our habits. And understanding that the conversation doesn't happen just in front of the pastor during the premarital counseling session and, we've got our plan, we're set, this is going to be the perfect marriage for life. No. It's an ongoing, continual, negotiating conversation, and one that will truly be a blessed lifelong journey. Intentionally dig trenches. There's going to be ruts and channels anyway, but the more trenches you have, the better your relationship will be with each other. Amen.